Hey, welcome guys back to the channel. It's Maverick here with another episode of Code Geass. So, thank you guys for all the support for the first episode. It seems a lot of you guys were waiting for me to finally pick this series up. Apparently, it's the favorite for a lot of people, and, you know, I can already kind of see why just in the initial episode, right? I certainly feel the potential already in there. Now, obviously, its reputation precedes it, but we still gotta get to it first, right? I can't really just say I'm gonna like it based on reputation alone. And I know a lot of you guys are expecting me to hurry up and you know, pump these episodes out. I'll do my best, but honestly, I don't want to really stress myself out or burn out too quickly. So it's not going to take like 50 something weeks for everything, but you know, I will be pacing it just as a heads up for you guys. In any case, last episode, we see Lelouch get some kind of supernatural mind control ability, which is, that's quite nice. I would like that kind of ability, actually. But more importantly, though, he certainly shows no qualms about using it whatsoever. He certainly has some goals that he has in mind, and he is not afraid of using different methods, or any and all methods, to get it. Now, in this episode, I am expecting him to sort of test out his abilities more and more, know his limitations and whatnot. At least that's what I would do if I did get something of this sort. Just to make sure that I can cover, you know, I can cover my bases. I'm not going to be suddenly captured and, you know, as an experimental subject, right? So, with that being said, let's just jump right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1... play. The Holy Britannian Empire. Okay. Did they mention Holy last episode? Yeah, I guess maybe. So not only did England take over the world, they also, they actually also inherited the holy title from, I presume, the Holy Roman Empire. So with that in mind, they probably conquered all of Europe as well. (2010). This is a series in 2006, right? All right. Oh man, I still can't get over how old school this is looking like right now. Although I have to say it's very classic Clamp though. With the super long legs, super long limbs and whatnot. Okay, this girl is cute. I believe she's called Cece, right? Even though they haven't properly introduced her, I did see in the credit scene there was some girl, well, there was someone named Cece. Well, I'm assuming that's her. Alright. The White Knight awakens. Okay. Is that Lelouch? Oh. Some more people. Okay, so it doesn't work for monitors. Is it gonna work? Oh, it worked. What's... Okay. So it seems that they don't, Oh, he's alive? Alright. Well, obviously. I mean, I know that he's one of the main characters. So from what we can just see back there, it seems that they don't have any memories of when they were being mind controlled. What are these guys doing? Okay. The plot is certainly advancing very fast here. Oh, is it because, Is it because Lelouch is, No, I don't think he's so stupid as to actually, like, completely turn just because he's in control of a nightmare. Oh. Lulu. Probably not. Oh. You have a little sister as well? Okay. So Lelouch... Should I call him Lulu as well? Is that like a common nickname people call him? Lulu. Hmm? Oop. Oh. Oof. No, I think these ejection seats seem to be pretty vulnerable. in terms of you know, these kinds of combat. You know, it's one thing to eject like above altitude. Ejecting right into the battlefield once again. Ooh. Wait, how did you... And why are you so knowledgeable about nightmares? Oh, two. How does... Why does... Lelouch... Why does Lelouch know about all this? Because... Okay. I see, I see. Okay, because he has the same... Basically, he has a full map. He's basically playing an RTS now. Oh, wait. And then... Suzaku is going to be the one that... Okay, how exactly is this gonna work? Moving underground. And then go directly towards the king, right? Go towards the prince. Oh no, okay. I think you're kind of getting ahead of yourself, dude. Okay. But why did he have the thinking of using Suzaku as the pilot? Ah, okay. A different kind of nightmare. 7th gen, eh? Now, isn't this ironic? I like how, with all this advanced technology, they are using essentially what's like a key to open it. Oh. And it's not on the map, is it? Damn. An energy shield as well. Damn. I guess. Yeah. You need to make sure. You see, in chess, even something as weak as a pawn can capture something as strong as a queen. But in real life, though, power doesn't quite work that way. Alright, so this researcher is actually also royalty? Oh. Oh, he blocked it. Oof. more to the point, I like how Lelouch actually knows how to pilot one as well. Yep, now he's trying to deliver checkmate. Belay that order! He doesn't even use his mind control on him. Wait, he's royalty? I mean, well, yeah, I did see that his name was Britannia, but I thought, holy shit. Oh, okay. I guess I should have expected that, but I didn't think too much of it at that time. Alright, see you guys after this. Wow, that twist at the end there. You know, it actually makes a lot of sense. I did notice, I have to say, I did notice last episode that while Lelouch was utilizing his mind control abilities, he did say his full name as Lelouch, what's the middle part? V Britannia, right? But at that point, when I saw that, I thought it was maybe some sort of side effect of utilizing those mind control powers, like, I was assuming it had something to do with the sort of dominance of Britannia as a whole and whatnot, so that might not have any significant meaning, right? Especially considering that this is the Britannia Empire and that surname is Britannia. That's obviously very, very prestigious, right? I guess I never really considered the possibility that Lelouch was actually royalty himself. And certainly with this, though, it actually makes a lot of sense, and it answers a lot of the questions that I had in this episode, right? Such as, you know, it's one thing for you to be smart, right? I can understand you're smart, you know a lot, you have a lot of knowledge, and you're good at, you know, tactical stuff, strategic stuff, and so on and so forth. You're good at analyzing the situation. That's one thing, but actually having the knowledge such as how to pilot a nightmare, or knowing the military codes and whatnot, knowing what kinds of armaments to expect, knowing what kind of what kind of units are on the battlefield and what counters what, and that kind of thing. A lot of that stuff, you're not going to be privy to that knowledge unless you have access to it, right? And I was thinking, why can a normal Britannia student, no matter how smart he is, have access to this kind of information? See, Suzaku, I can kind of understand him knowing how to pilot a nightmare, right? Because he is, after all, in the army, even though 11s or Japanese aren't supposed to be able to use armaments and whatnot. I can presume that he went through the required training and all that, just in case. So I can accept that. But how Lelouch actually knew of all that, I had questions of, and this perfectly answers it, because as a prince, of course he would have access to this kind of information, and Lelouch being Lelouch, I'm sure that he was smart since a very young age, and probably gathered all that information already at that time, right? So that's one thing. And another thing is instantly we're opening the possibilities of a lot of backstory towards Lelouch, right? First of all, him saying that he's the 17th in line, but the eldest son of a certain former empress, that already speaks a lot. And if we go by his history, right, how historic emperors were, they usually had a lot of wives, right? And in this case, it seems that Lelouch's mom was probably a wife that came on later, right? So his father, the emperor, probably had a lot more different wives and concubines and whatnot first, and so he had a lot of sons as well, all those waiting in line for succession. And Lelouch was probably more so towards the end of the succession line here, and that's. Knowing that as well, we can also sort of kind of guess as to maybe what happened to him in his youth, right? Like, was he specifically pushed away from the throne? Maybe because when you get into this kind of situation, and where you have a situation where it's not necessarily the eldest son that takes the throne, right? Then you open this to a lot of court politics, to a lot of court battling, to some succession battles, right? And indeed, if we go once again by history, using history as a reference, a lot of these battles are very, very bloody, and it doesn't matter that you're up against your own brothers and whatnot, your own kinsmen. You do all you can to kill them, to remove them from power, to strip them of any sort of possibility of succession, right? So potentially, I can already see a situation where Lelouch was got the brunt of it as a result of some of these succession battles. Consider a situation where, okay, this son is actually quite behind in terms of the line of succession and whatnot, right? But he's very smart. He has a lot of talent and whatnot. You can instantly view him as a threat, right? So I can totally see a situation where maybe his elder brothers and whatnot conspire and remove him from the situation before he actually becomes a threat to the throne. So I do think that's probably one thing that we can expect, or one of the possibilities that we can expect from his backstory. And of course, with this, we probably also know a lot more as to why he has this deep hatred and whatnot towards the Britannia Empire and so on and so forth, because he was within it. He probably saw a lot of things, and his current life is probably a consequence, right, of what happened during his youth, and not just purely out of, oh, I have so much sympathy for the Japanese, so I want to fight against the Britannia Empire, right? So having this sort of backstory actually makes a lot of sense. Beyond that part, though, another thing that I find so ironic, I was talking about this in the last episode already, but so it did come to be that Suzaku is fighting on the Britannia side instead. This is so funny to me, because someone who was originally a Britannia prince is now actually fighting to topple it, whereas someone who was colonized, if you will, by the Britannians is now fighting for the Empire, right? That is, and actually going head to head with each other without actually knowing the other person is the one that they are, one of their besties, if you will. That's kind of, well, are they actually besties, right? Suzaku certainly seems to be very caring and very protective of Lelouch. Is that actually, conversely, is that actually true as well. Like, what does Lelouch actually think of Suzaku? I'm sure he considers him a friend, but is it with the same sort of importance in his life as Suzaku is holding Lelouch in regard, right? Right now, I don't think so. I actually don't think so, but we'll have to see, right? We'll see later on. What else in this episode? I mean, the rest of the tactics and all that. Okay, one thing that I do want to quickly mention, I'm not sure if this is what Lelouch meant, but you know, the part where he was running away from Lancelot, from Suzaku, was he mentioned something, right? He mentioned he has to remember that the most important element in battle is the human element. Now, I'm not sure if he's interpreting that situation in terms of Lancelot or in terms of the red-haired girl, right? I believe she's called Callan or something like that. And if it were, you know, that would be, if it were Callan, then I think that phrase makes a little bit of sense. But if it was actually talking about Suzaku and Lancelot and whatnot, then it wouldn't really make sense, because this is a pure technological superiority, a pure firepower superiority, right? It would kind of work talking about the human element if someone was able to defeat the odds. Like, on paper, you're supposed to win, but you couldn't because of the human elements, because surpassing what normal logic would dictate and whatnot. Right, that would mean the human element played an important factor. In this case, though, it's a simple matter of real life not exactly being the same as a game of chess, right? In chess, like, even if you have the strongest piece is the queen, right? Even if you do have a queen, against 2 pawns or 3 pawns or whatnot, it's gonna have a lot of trouble as well, because they can support each other. You can't just use a queen to suddenly, you know, eat up everything else. Well, obviously, it depends on a lot of situations, but what I'm saying is that in chess, a pawn can take on a queen under the right circumstances. In real life, though, as we can see, with this complete superiority in firepower, the chance of this is so minuscule that you might even not consider it, unless, of course, you're talking about the human element that he mentioned there. So, I mean, Lelouch is a smart guy, so I'm going to assume that the human element he's talking about is actually Callan saving him, which was definitely outside of his expectations and whatnot. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. The rest of this episode, what else do we talk about? Lelouch. Oh, one thing I do want to kind of mention. So I was expecting Lelouch to actually utilize his abilities a little bit more, test out the limits, and then really fully utilize it to achieve what he wants to do, right? And even in terms of either stopping this conflict or taking the prince prisoner or even starting the fight against the entire empire. So he did kind of test it out in this episode. At least we do know that it has to work for direct visual contact and whatnot. But something that actually stood out to me is that Lelouch actually did not rely on his supernatural abilities that much in this episode, right? You would think that having this sort of, you know, completely overpowered ability, you would just directly utilize it to achieve your goals. And yet, no, he's actually, beyond taking control of the nightmare, he actually did not use that at all. Even at the... Oh, actually, well, he used it one more time, right? Against the guard of Clovis there, at the very end. But beyond that, like, even when talking with his elder brother, he did not actually use it. He used a simple, you know, a very primitive method of threatening him, like, with a weapon, instead of actually mind controlling him and telling him to just do whatever he wants him to do, right? So I don't know if there's any significance to this portion, like his insistence on utilizing his own intellect as or not, but it does stand out for me, right? Because you would think that under this kind of situation, like if I were in that position, for instance, and I knew that I had these kinds of abilities, I would definitely be using this to my advantage in terms of turning the tide of the battle, and then also, you know, whatever it is that I want to do, even if I do want to, you know, to take over the empire or topple the empire or whatnot, right? I would definitely be doing it, you know, just directly heading for the head of the empire, not necessarily, you know, involving myself with, okay, training the resistance forces, teaching them how to win against the empire, and so on and so forth. Although, I guess you could also say that, to a certain extent, that was what Lelouch was trying to do as well. I'm still thinking that maybe the only reason that he decided to take control of the resistance forces, the terrorist forces, was to really draw in all the guards of of the prince and then utilize that as an opening to actually get to him, right? I'm not sure how much of that was plan B or if that was his plan all along, but that is definitely something to take note of, both that part and also the fact that he hasn't used his abilities all that much. All right. I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I don't want to make these things too long. I'm sure that we'll get more and more information as time goes on. But for now, I mean, these two episodes, man, I like the twist there. I like the twist. Although, to be fair, the second one, I should have saw it coming. But in any case, that's it for that. You can't catch everything, right? You can't win them all. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next week as well. Bye-bye.